Who wants Ibrahim Traore dead? The untold story of the assassination attempts. They've tried to kill him again. Not once, not twice, scores of attempts, according to local reports. But who's behind the plots to silence Captain Ibrahim Traore? Tonight we pull back the curtain on a dangerous power struggle that reaches from Ouagadougou to Paris, Moscow, and secret rooms full of money. BMoreNews.com. Binance. Captain Ibrahim Traore rose from a junior officer to Burkina Faso's de facto leader after the 2022 coup. Young, defiant, and magnetic, he's reshaped his country's foreign policy, ejecting French troops, clashing with international institutions, and pushing a fiercely independent economic agenda that threatens long-entrenched interests. Wall Street Journal. Financial Times. That combination, a youthful revolutionary image and an aggressive break with the old order, is exactly the kind of thing that turns a national leader into an international problem for some powerful players. Counting assassination plots is messy. Officials, pundits, and social media give different totals, but multiple outlets reporting from the region say Traore has survived dozens of plots, with many repeating the figure of around 18-20 separate assassination or coup attempts since he took power. Those numbers come from local reporting, government statements, and investigative pieces tracking a pattern of conspiracies and arrests. BMoreNews.com. Binance Live. Whether it's 18, 20, or more, the point is chilling. This is not a one-off. It's a persistent campaign of attempts, leaks, and intrigues. Analysts and reporters repeatedly point to 4 overlapping groups that might have motive, means, or both. Important, none of these categories should be taken as definitive proof of individual culpability, but they explain who stands to gain if Traore disappears. Suspect 1: foreign intelligence and state actors, alleged. Traore's pivot away from France and toward Russia created friction with long-standing foreign interests. Where state actors lose military bases, contracts, and strategic leverage, they can, analysts say, become drivers of covert operations. Several analysts argue the political shocks his policies create are a plausible motive for foreign interference. Wall Street Journal. Financial Times. Suspect 2: ousted political and business elites. Before Traore, a network of political elites and foreign-linked private companies enjoyed privileged access to mining contracts and security deals. Traore's nationalization push and contract renegotiations directly threaten their fortunes. Multiple reports from the region suggest that some arrested conspirators had ties to former regimes or commercial interests who'd lost out. This Day Live. Suspect 3: mercenary networks and shadow actors, including Wagner links. The rise of Russian private military influence in the Sahel, exemplified by the Wagner Group's activities in neighboring states, complicates the picture. Wagner's past patterns involve both direct force projection and involvement in local political networks tied to resource extraction. Analysts warn that mercenary groups operate in murky legal space and can be both tools and independent actors in destabilization plots. L'Iman.fr. Suspect 4: extremist jihadist groups, a different logic. Some jihadi factions might also target Traore not to restore the old order, but because his security policies and local mobilization can threaten insurgent control. The line between who benefits and who carries out is messy. Attacks may be opportunistic or coordinated with external backers. So, motive is rarely single source. Wealthy ousted elites lose money. Foreign powers lose bases and influence. Mercenary outfits lose access or pivot profits. Extremists lose territory. Any of these can form alliances, and alliances are the most dangerous. Let's move from motive to method. Why do experts call these attempts rather than isolated assassination rumors? Because a pattern emerges: leaked plans involving convoys, bribery offers to guards, suspicious movements among military units, and arrests of plotters inside the security apparatus. This Day Live. Example story, sourced. A reported case repeated across several English and regional outlets claims that a bodyguard was offered large sums to turn on Traore. In other incidents, convoys were allegedly targeted and high-ranking officers were implicated and detained. These episodes show both insider recruitment and external planning. This daily vbmorenews.com. The takeaway: the plots are rarely low-level street violence. They look like coordinated attempts involving insiders, money, and logistics, the hallmarks of politically motivated plots rather than random assassination. Now the geopolitical layer. Traoré's policy moves pulling away from France, courting new partners, pushing to keep more mining revenues in-state threaten centuries of influence and billions in resource value. Major outlets note his pivot and the way Russia's presence in the region, via private military contractors and political support, has shifted the chessboard. That's not proof of an assassination plot by any particular government, but it explains why the stakes are enormous. Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, Le Monde.fr. Imagine losing access to gold, contracts, and a whole strategic region overnight. For some actors, the loss is economic. For some, it's political humiliation. In that climate, covert options suddenly look more tempting. The information war here is as important as the guns. Traoré's image has been amplified by supporters and by foreign propaganda alike. Meanwhile, social feeds churn out contradictory claims. Some say 18 attempts, others say 20 or even more. Disinformation muddies the waters. Some actors benefit from making a target look weaker or martyring him to rally a base. As responsible storytellers, we must separate confirmed facts from viral claims. bmorenews.com, Financial Times. That's why in this video I'm citing reputable reporting and stressing when something is an allegation or a government claim. The stakes are human lives, and responsible reporting matters.